Hello, hello. Old Dad here, and I'm getting ready to watch some SmackDown. I'm pretty excited about it. And I know that there's a match with the old bloodline, the new bloodline, minus Roman Reigns, but it's still going to be good. I can't wait to watch it. It's the 3-hour version. We're at that now, so let's get to watching. Segment 1 is over. I've got the match I want to see for sure, and that's Andrade versus Nakamura. It started out, Cody Rhodes talking, Drew McIntyre came out. How could you not be intimidated? Don't tell me Cody wasn't intimidated. That man's a giant. He's Claymore. I mean, he needed to be worried. But Drew was all friendly and everything like that. Kevin Owens attacked Cody, that kind of thing. They went over what was going to happen. The biggest thing, Nakamura versus Andrade. I want to see that. I'm starting to love Andrade. I'm loving it whenever I see him on there. Anyways, there's going to be Naomi versus Nia Jax tonight. And could I be interested in that? Absolutely. The only problem is I kind of feel like I've seen it. And I don't want Naomi to win. I'm sorry. I mean, she would be the only one in the bloodline with the title. That would be funny. But I want Nia Jax to keep that title. I really do. Now, outside of that, they had a couple other things, but I didn't see anything about LA Knight. We all love LA Knight. Well, we're out of commercial. So I got to talk about this. I know it ain't a commercial break yet, so we're going to have an in-between extra. But anyway, that match was amazing. The way he did him, to where he just like off the top and smacked his face on that. Oh my God, you got to watch that. That was great. Outside of that, when did Shinsuke Nakamura become the Oriental Undertaker? I love it. And LA Knight's after him. LA Knight's beating him up. He ran out. Shinsuke Nakamura did. But I love that match. You got to see that match. All right, segment 2's over. And yes, I could tell you more about that match because that match was amazing. And then afterward, LA Knight, and he spoke. So far, segment 2 is my favorite segment. So far, that match is fantastic, wonderful, terrific. I'm very happy with how SmackDown's going right now. I almost called it Raw. And the fact that Drew McIntyre is here on SmackDown. Here, look at the camera, Drew. It's going to be like this. See, here's how Old Dad thinks. Roman Reigns is going to be like, I got the Oompa Loompa necklace. And then Drew McIntyre is going to show up. Hello. And then he's going to be like, oh no, keep my necklace, go. Drew McIntyre. Anyway, just what I'm thinking right now. Outside of that, that was really good. So far, of all the matches you got to see that match. And I really like it when Andrade does the like flippy-do, and then the guy moves and he just lands on his feet and does a flippy-do again. I'm becoming an Andrade fan. So when LA Knight wins the title back, I would like to see him go up against Andrade again because, that's just really good. Maybe even before then, like a number one contenders thing. I don't know. But we are at a commercial. That segment's over, and it's a match still going on, but it's Mi Chin versus Piper Niven. So far, it's pretty good. Chelsea Green's out there, so it's pretty great as far as the Chelsea Green thing goes. They was talking about Christmas ornaments with Chelsea Green on them. Yeah, I'd put that on my tree too, if I had a tree. but it's January. I don't have a tree. Anyway, I think that so far this segment's been pretty good. It's been kind of small, kind of like this segment for me, kind of small. Well, that segment's over. I thought it was okay. I thought that the match was pretty good. Is it me or is wrestling getting better? The wrestling of wrestling getting better. Because to me, it seems like the wrestling of wrestling's getting a lot better. And Les Garza, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. But they ended up going up against kind of like Pretty Deadly, and they kind of got into it. It was one of the best things I've ever seen from Los Garza. And I was actually kind of impressed with how they were portrayed right there. They were just like, basically like, you got us into all this trouble and we didn't do nothing. There was a whole storyline there with all this. It was a pretty good segment. But now we're at a commercial. That segment ended, and it was ending with DIY coming out. It's going to be DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns next. That's going to be a good match. I mean, that might be... Anyway. They had a whole big segment with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. It was really good. He wants Paul Heyman to hold on to the Umafala. I kind of like the Oompa Loompa necklace. If it gets me beat up by Roman Reigns, I'm down with that. Don't get me wrong. It's just because I'd be excited to be beat up by Roman Reigns. I would be like, prefer to shake his hand, but I'll take what I can get. Anyway, so they was talking about it. He wants Paul Heyman to hold it. And he was just like, after it's all over, you're going to be like my wise man from there on. And it was a pretty good segment. It's talky, stuff like that. They had this thing, and it was like a package with Naomi. Now, as we acknowledged earlier, I'm not a big Naomi fan, but I really liked it. And I liked the fact that she was being so positive in it, saying how she was trying to put out the positive, how she was trying to be an inspiration, things like that. And I liked her. I liked her more. Now, I know that Jimmy's going to be in the main event, and I'm wondering if he's still got a broken toe. I mean, it couldn't have healed that fast, right? Anyway, we're at a commercial. That segment's over. The ending was funny. The match was great. The match was fantastic. And it did look like Motor City Machine Guns was going to win. Even though Pretty Deadly started to interfere. I mean, I didn't really see Ciampa unleashed. But that's okay. The match was good. Then Los Garza comes after Pretty Deadly. And Pretty Deadly makes sure that they bring the fight into the ring, land on him, and he gets thrown out. So DIY keeps the titles. I thought it was funny. I thought how it was all done was quite entertaining. I mean, just to be real, I enjoyed the heck out of that. And then it had the whole thing coming up with the fact that Nia Jax is going to face Naomi. Even if I was a Naomi fan, it's hard to imagine too many people that could beat Nia Jax in one way or the other. Nia Jax needs to become a good guy. You ever see her on Facebook? You ever see her on Instagram? She's fun. Nia Jax needs to become a good guy. But second best match of the night by far. Still, I'd say Andrade versus Nakamura is the best match. Second best match, that match right there. And I ain't even going to count it as the broken up finish or the interference or whatever, because of how the interference was done was kind of funny. It wasn't like someone hit somebody or the disqualification. It got thrown out because of fight fell on them. And I thought that was fantastic. All right, commercial. That segment was okay. It was a lot of talky. It had Sami Zayn talking to Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes being like, I was just getting ready. Me and you again type thing. And I like that because I like how Carmelo Hayes is doing. Whether he wins or he loses, it's kind of like the LA Knight thing. Where LA Knight might get beat, but he could call out 6 people. And if he gets beat up, he'll be like, yeah, but there were 6 of you. If he gets beat up by 1, he'd be like, you got a lucky punch. That's kind of how Carmelo Hayes is doing. I like that. Anyway, then they had Jay bumping shoulders with Kevin Owens, which makes me wonder if Kevin Owens wins, could it be Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso? Because that match would be good. That match would be really good. Then it had Naomi coming out, and you know what it is? It's the glow thing. Maybe a sensory thing for me. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I get what it represents, and I am a fan of that. But just the glow in the dark stuff. And they said about how long it's been since she's won a title. Do they coincide? I don't know. Just thinking out loud. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing how this match goes. That kick that she does where she kind of gets in position and kicks with her back feet. I think it's like a horse kick or something like that. It's not my favorite move. I think it's just... I think that you would see it coming, honestly. Watch it. See if that happens. Outside of that, this has all been pretty good. But we're at a commercial. That segment's done. Naomi versus Nia Jax has started. My first thought whenever that match started was, I was wrong. Naomi wouldn't be the first one in the bloodline. If I'm not mistaken, Nia Jax is in the bloodline. I got to thinking it would be interesting if she started her own type of bloodline or took over the lead of the bloodline. She is champion. And my second thought was, why wasn't that the main event? I get it how they're building up the tribal combat match and stuff like that, but this is a world title match. I mean, granted, it ain't the world title, but it is the world title. It's the women's world title. I'm just thinking to myself, that should have been the main event. Anyway, the match has been okay so far. It's one of the matches that's in between the commercials. So, at that, we're at a commercial. So this match has been pretty great so far. We're at the end of the segment, and it's gone back and forth. It's had some but I mean, this match has been pretty great so far. Maybe this shouldn't have been the main event because the main event would have a cutoff time. To where this one right here, I mean, it can go over. That's okay. I'm really liking how this match is going. And, I mean, there's a couple points I thought Naomi had it. I thought for sure Naomi had it. Now, do I think that she's going to win? Still hope she doesn't. I like Nia Jax. Wouldn't it be interesting if Bianca Belair interfered or something like that? This also could be the point where Tiffany Stratton cashes in. What if Naomi wins and the Tiffany Stratton cashes in? That would be funny. Anyways, we are at a commercial. Perfect. Beautiful. Wonderful. Tiffany Stratton cashed in. She's the world champion. So she ended up slamming Naomi. And it looked like she was going to cash in. Then it looked like she was part of the whole grouping thing where she was just working with Nia Jax. And the same thing as normal. And then she slams Nia. She lets Bianca Belair do the KOD to her. She throws Bianca Belair and she cashes in. It was wonderful. Wonderful. Was there a lot of interference at the end? Yeah, there was. That match was great. And Tiffany cashing in. I mean, if there's a part that you're going to watch at this point, I would say watch Tiffany cash in. If you're going to watch it for a match, well, Andrade versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But Tiffany cashed in. I was happy. But we are at a commercial. So that segment's over, and just call it what it was. It was a big commercial. They did a recap of how Tiffany Stratton cashed in. Can't see it through the beard. I'm still smiling. Anyway, and then they went over on the whole tribal combat thing because I want to say they think that's their big selling point for that. And don't get me wrong, I want to see it. But anyway, then, Solo and his group went and started walking into the ring. So this is actually really good. Now, who do I think is going to win? Solo's team. I think Solo's team's going to win. They got Jay. Maybe they win just by stepping on Jimmy's foot. I'm sorry. I would still think he's got a broken toe. But yeah, so I'm really... the main event's about to happen, but it was a short segment. It was pretty much a commercial. And speaking of commercials, we're at a commercial. That one there, we went ahead and had another entrance. It was the OG Bloodline. And it was pretty fun. I mean, it was the start of the match, and literally just the start of the match went into a commercial, but it was fun. They gave plenty of time for him to get to the ring, plenty of time for him to do the Uso thingy and the Yeet thing. It was great. It was honest to goodness. I enjoyed it, but we are at a commercial. So I gotta say, now that segment's over and the end of the show, that was the main event. That was actually a main event. It was second best match. Second best. Not the best point of the night. I would say the best point of the night was Tiffany Stratton cashing in. But that match was really good. Jey Uso went after Drew McIntyre, who just walked out. He didn't even do anything. He just walked out. Jey lost the match. That was going to come. It was the whole distraction thing. Took his eye off. He went to finish Jacob Fatu. Okay, but out of all that, my favorite point of that match, Tama Tonga took it to Sami Zayn to where I was just like, ow. That looked like it hurt. I mean, like, he looked like he really, really beat him up. I liked it. Anyways, what was your favorite part of the show? What was your favorite match? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Later.